Periodically, the seemingly tranquil Pacific Ocean conceals a concealed force beneath its surface, an influential climatic occurrence that impacts global weather conditions. This phenomenon is known as El Niño. El Niño is not merely a peculiar tropical event. It serves as a disruptive force on a global scale. It manifests in various ways, such as torrential rains triggering catastrophic flooding in South America and severe droughts leading to wildfires in Australia. Welcome to Spaceverse, your cosmic gateway to the wonders of the universe. On this channel, we embark on an exhilarating journey through the vastness of space, exploring celestial phenomena, astronomical discoveries, and the mysteries that lie beyond our atmosphere. Join us as we delve into the cosmos, unlocking the secrets of galaxies, stars, and planets. Now, delving into the origins of this climate phenomenon, El Niño, translating to the boy in Spanish, exerts its influence on ocean water, elevating its temperature by approximately 32.4 to 32.9 degrees Fahrenheit above the average. Historical records indicate its existence as far back as the 16th century, and it can be observed across all regions of our planet. El Niño's repercussions include floods, droughts, heightened CO2 levels, and shifts in global temperatures. The initiation of this phenomenon originates in the East Central Pacific Ocean, impacting developing countries along its borders and unprepared marine life, subjecting them to the most severe consequences of the abrupt warming of water. Yet, El Niño is just one facet of a broader climatic cycle known as the El Niño Southern Oscillation. This cycle encompasses two other phases: La Niña, the complete antithesis of El Niño, and a neutral state where neither predominates. La Niña, or the girl in Spanish, induces a cooling effect on water rather than heating, further diversifying the range of weather phenomena. Typically, during La Niña, the water temperature experiences a decline of approximately 37 to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The consequences of this phenomenon are significant for numerous countries globally, including the United States and Canada, leading to severe rainstorms, floods, and more intense hurricane seasons. The challenge lies in the difficulty of predicting these two phenomena. Consequently, preparations for them are necessary, occurring every 2 to 7 years, indicating their irregular and non-short-term nature. El Niño spans about 9 to 12 months, while La Niña tends to persist for 1 to 3 years. The genesis of El Niño and La Niña involves an uncommon process. In the Pacific Ocean's normal conditions, trade winds move from a high-pressure zone to a low-pressure zone, traveling from east to west. These winds guide warm water in their direction, closer to Asian countries and Australia. As a result, cold water ascends on the eastern coast of South America, positively impacting fish catch due to the nutrient saturation of the water, a phenomenon known as upwelling. The warm water warms the air, causing it to ascend rapidly into the lower atmosphere and condense. Simultaneously, cooler air returns to the eastern parts, supporting the trade winds. However, any disturbance in this delicate balance triggers the onset of El Niño or La Niña. During El Niño, weakened winds allow warm water to be less influenced by wind movement, leading to reduced upwelling. Consequently, the Pacific Ocean's water heats up uniformly in areas typically cold. This alteration further results in changing rain patterns, causing substantial weather variations worldwide. In the tropics, the likelihood of flooding increases during El Niño, while Western countries experience heightened instances of droughts. A specific illustration of this impact can be observed in the protected area in Hawaii, Pua. Under normal conditions, the average rainfall in January is approximately 2.7 inches. However, during El Niño conditions in 2010, only 0.4 inches of rainfall was recorded. Over time, the phases of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ENSO, can transition from one to another, such as shifting from El Niño to La Niña. During La Niña, winds, in contrast, intensify, leading to increased upwelling and a reduction in warm water areas in the ocean. Consequently, the western parts of the United States and northern regions of South America may experience cooling, while areas in the Indian Ocean may undergo warming. The regions bordering the Pacific Ocean bear the brunt of these phenomena. Historically, severe droughts and floods caused the death of approximately 30 to 60 million people in India, China, and Brazil during the 19th century. In the 20th century, 26 instances of El Niño were documented, significantly impacting the harvests of Western countries. Additionally, the populations of various animals, including sea lions, were adversely affected. Consequently, the primary casualties of El Niño are South American countries such as Peru and Ecuador. The majority of their economies rely on the export of fish and fertilizers. However, due to El Niño, upwelling diminishes, resulting in extensive fish fatalities and increased precipitation. This, in turn, causes the washing away of crops and fertilizers and damage to civilian infrastructure. Conversely, droughts are imminent in eastern regions like Indonesia and Australia. As a consequence, water bodies and crops in these areas start to desiccate, negatively impacting the standard of living, health of people and animals, and land fertility. Eastern African countries, such as Kenya or Tanzania, along with American nations, grapple with frequent rains. In contrast, South Central countries like Zambia or Mozambique suffer from drought. The southern United States, especially Texas, experiences heightened precipitation during El Niño. However, for instance, in California, the phenomenon brings rain, positively influencing the harvest of crops like lime and avocado. Notably, Canadian winters are becoming milder. Interestingly, El Niño also influences Antarctica. In its western part, a slight warming occurs, resulting in more snowfall. However, due to reduced upwelling, shelf glaciers start to melt. Conversely, La Niña contributes to an increase in the mass of glaciers, assisting in maintaining ecological balance. The direct impact of the El Niño Southern Oscillation on European countries is challenging to document. El Niño brings cold and dry winters to the European continent, posing a potential threat to the land. For instance, in the 18th century, El Niño significantly affected the harvests of European countries, possibly contributing to the outbreak of the French Revolution in 1789. In the 19th century alone, this phenomenon caused approximately 3 severe famines in various Asian and European countries. Thus, El Niño and La Niña emerge as potentially perilous phenomena for our world. The last occurrence of El Niño and La Niña was in 2015 and 16, almost 7 years ago. In 2016, recorded as the hottest year, it marked the most severe El Niño episode in the last 50 years, leading to hunger for over 60 million people. In 2015, equatorial waters maintained warmer temperatures throughout the entire year. The central part of the ocean experienced a peak warming of almost 37.4 degrees Fahrenheit in November, with an overall warming temperature of 35 degrees Fahrenheit. This is likely to be a record value since 1860. All continents, directly or indirectly, felt the impact of El Niño. For example, Australia faced severe droughts, particularly in its eastern and northern regions. This prompted an early commencement of the fire season, resulting in 125 fires on the continent. The fires severely damaged extensive areas of nature in Tasmania, including rainforests and swamps that had rarely experienced fires before. Furthermore, the worst coral bleaching was recorded during this period, a process rendering corals vulnerable to death as they turn white. This spring and fall of 2016 in Australia stood out as some of the driest on record, significantly impacting the harvest. The heat also led to a reduction in ore supplies, a crucially exported commodity. Regions in Asia faced various adverse weather conditions, with severe drought affecting 85% of the Philippines and Indonesia. Indonesia experienced large-scale fires, worsening air quality in neighboring areas like Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. These fires affected the export of palm oil, causing increased prices for the product and subsequently impacting all foods utilizing the oil. Furthermore, rice production in Vietnam and Thailand saw a significant drop, primarily due to water shortages. India reduced its supplies of rice, sugar, cotton, and corn. The northern regions of China experienced droughts, while the southern regions were afflicted by rain and floods. South America suffered severe weather-related disasters in all regions in 2016. Peru witnessed severe flooding and landslides, resulting in around 5,000 people losing their homes and a decline in shrimp production. Additionally, 150,000 individuals had to be evacuated from flooded areas in Paraguay, Brazil, Argentina, etc. Argentina faced one of the largest locust infestations, severely impacting the state of agriculture. In April 2016, Colombia experienced famine due to droughts, prompting the need for humanitarian aid for about 2.3 million people, according to the UN. In the Caribbean, a shortage of drinking water was notable, leading St. Lucia to declare a state of emergency. El Nino's varying impact in Brazil contributed to a sharp increase in coffee and sugar prices worldwide. Conversely, the United States and European countries minimally felt the direct impact of El Nino. States like Missouri, Mississippi, and the United Kingdom received above-average precipitation, but this did not significantly affect their economies. Lastly, the African continent also suffered economically from this phenomenon. Food production in South Africa declined by 6 million tons. In some parts of Zimbabwe, 75% of the harvest was lost. Ethiopia faced a humanitarian crisis, with 10 million people needing aid, and about 458,000 children treated for acute malnutrition. In total, an estimated 60 million people worldwide endured the effects of hunger. Moreover, adverse weather events triggered disease outbreaks, particularly in Africa and South America. Floods in several South American countries facilitated the spread of the Zika virus. In Africa, outbreaks of cholera and Rift Valley fever in the eastern part of the continent, as well as malaria, were documented. Animals bore the brunt of El Niño's effects, with marine birds and small mammals suffering, sometimes leading predators to attack farm livestock. The populations of invasive species, including locusts and tree frogs, also surged, damaging crops and contributing to the spread of dangerous diseases. The gravity of the danger posed by El Niño and La Niña should not be underestimated. Meteorologists are already observing signs of El Niño, likely to commence in late summer 2023 or very early in 2024, as indicated by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, researcher Dylan Amaya, and World Meteorological Organization Secretary General Patartalis. The possibility of setting new global temperature records next year is being considered. The prolonged La Niña period, spanning 3 years and ending only in March, resulted in the accumulation of a substantial amount of heat energy in the ocean. Consequently, after the cold snap, this accumulated heat will be released, intensifying the effects of El Niño. It remains challenging to predict whether the 2015-16 scenario will repeat, given the uniqueness of each El Niño due to differences in the periods of this phenomenon and the overall climate situation on Earth. Nevertheless, there are already several forecasts outlining what to anticipate from the upcoming El Niño. A climate science candidate at Tracasca Castro outlines 4 potential consequences for global weather in 2023 to 2024. Firstly, there's the possibility that ocean temperatures could rise to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Moreover, during its peak, temperatures might increase even more, reminiscent of the conditions in 2015 and 16. However, the researcher cautions that it's premature to predict the severity of this temperature rise. Secondly, after an extended period of La Niña, Australia has experienced substantial rainfall. Yet, this could change in the upcoming year, considering the continent's overall temperature has surged by 34.5 degrees Fahrenheit compared to the early 20th century. A new exceptionally hot year could potentially lead to early fires. Thirdly, there's the looming threat of a humanitarian catastrophe in South America, with the resurgence of serious diseases such as malaria, the Zika virus, or dengue fever. Moreover, there's a risk of brain disorders and miscarriages due to abnormal heat. Additionally, the Amazon rainforest, along with those in Africa, India, and Australia, might face severe droughts, diminishing vegetation growth, and consequently, reducing the absorption of CO2 from the atmosphere. Fourthly, Northern Europe can anticipate cold, dry winters, while Southern Europe may experience increased precipitation. Particularly, the North Atlantic might undergo a cold snap during El Niño. Access to food and drinking water becomes more critical, indicating that there might be no exception this time for countries like Australia, Brazil, Peru, Africa, etc. These nations and continents that grappled with the dramatic climate changes in 2015 and 16 might unfortunately face a severe food and economic crisis again. There is also the potential for a significant decline in exports of various agricultural and livestock products, as well as mining and fuel products, with an indirect impact on the global economy. According to NOAA, the United States may face a substantial increase in precipitation in the eastern part of the country and a severe heat wave in the southwest and south. A study by researchers at Dartmouth University, led by Christopher Callahan, estimates that the repercussions of this phenomenon could cost the global economy approximately $3.4 trillion over the next 5 years. Consequently, The second half of 2023 and the following year could pose extremely challenging periods for the entire world. Nevertheless, the impacts of El Niño and La Niña may not be limited to these immediate consequences. There is a possibility that, in the future, these weather events could become more severe and frequent. Specifically, they may disrupt the formation of tropical forests. However, a significant driver behind the escalating impact of El Niño and La Niña is greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to further warming of the planet. Consequently, in the long run, it is anticipated that high global temperatures may become the norm, posing an even greater threat to the world. The potential future deterioration of the planet's weather situation serves as a warning to all, emphasizing that only environmental stewardship can shield us from catastrophic consequences. And that's it. Thank you for joining us on this cosmic adventure with Spaceverse. If you enjoyed our journey through the stars and want to stay updated on the latest celestial wonders, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Feel free to explore more fascinating videos in our playlist and share your thoughts or cosmic questions in the comments below.